Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you how to make a full unit with a closure. So first you'll need a mesh dome cap, thread, needle, of course. And then I also included the scissors and a clip. And you'll need a dome head. My dome head has tape all around it just so I won't get the foam pieces in the cap. Also, you'll see me pointing to the back of the tag, which, goes in the back of the head instead of the front for the cap. And you will also need some T-pins. So T-pins you can find at the beauty supply store. If you can't get T-pins, you can push open a bobby pin, widen open and stick it down inside the foam head. So first I'm starting with a closure. This is a 4x4 lace closure. It has not been dyed, plucked, or anything. It is a free part closure. I'm starting with bringing the hairline down to where the band on the mesh cap starts. So you want all of that to go together. So where your hairline starts or where the band ends is where you want your hairline to start. So I put a T-pin in it to keep it still, and then I'm just taking my needle and I'm going around and I'm pulling it where it's going through but not into the band on the wig. So I'm not going completely through, like all the way in the inside of the band, but I am sewing onto the band, not going through it. And I loop around twice and then I pull the needle through. So this has been the best method I found for myself, with pulling the needle through and then wrapping it around twice and just pulling it all the way through. You get a good defined stitch, so it won't be moving as much. And you really want your closure to be sewn down really tight, because at the end you'll have to cut away from underneath the closure, and you want all of that thread and work you put into it to actually stay there and be mobilized. And I'm sorry that my voice is a little raspy. The weather has been changing, honey. So now that we've watched me, loop it through and tie it around twice and then pull it all the way through, I sped it up a little bit because, I don't want this to be remedial. You kind of have to know how to sew. I mean, sewing is pretty easy to me. I learned how to sew really quick when I first started doing hair. So, long as you know how to, go through the needle without getting stuck, or the mesh cap without getting stuck over and over, you pretty much can get sewing really quick and easy. Also, if you're having trouble keeping your closure down, I would get a pack of T-pins and just make sure you place it where you need it to be when you first start. So yeah, you see that the hairline is starting where the band starts on the cap, and I braid it up and then I put my little clip on it so that hair no longer gets in the way at all. And it looks great. So next we're going to start with the track. I did single my hair. I know sometimes I double. It just depends on how much my client wants in the wig. Sometimes I have clients who want 4 or 5 bundles in a wig. Sometimes I have clients who only want 3. So most of the time if it's 3, I just single it. So I'm showing you again, I'm not going completely through the elastic part on the band. I am sewing on to it though, but I'm not going through it. And I'm going to use the same method of sewing where I'm going in the loops and I pull through twice. So yeah, and I prefer mesh caps over the regular dome caps because it's more breathable, if that makes sense, for your scalp. With it being mesh, it's more holes in it for your scalp to breathe. And this is really good for my clients who like to sew their wigs on instead of taking them off and on. I have a lot of clients who take them off and on, and I probably use a regular dome cap. Or for those who prefer to get theirs sewed down every 2 weeks, I like to use the mesh caps. And it's just a repeated cycle of me going back and forth from it would be if I was sewing on someone's head ear to ear. So you just want to keep going back and forth all the way into whatever point you may have to stop at. I don't measure people's heads before I make the wigs or anything. All my units fit to just about any head size, so I don't have to worry about any of that. So I just keep repeating these steps until the bundle runs out. I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then in a few seconds I'm going to skip forward to me being at the top, which is very important. If you know how to sew, like I said, this part will be very easy. You're just laying the tracks like you would as if it was a sew-in, or even if you were to just sew the closure and glue tracks. I know people do that, like the hot glue gun method or whatever. You would just do that method, but the very top part is the most important part, where your closure is. Like I said about the tape, it just prevents it from growing through. So now when I got to the top, I started to stand up because I did do this sitting down. I normally don't do this sitting down, and it only takes me about an hour to an hour and 30 minutes if I'm consistently just doing a wig. So eventually you can get there, sis. Like it doesn't take much. So now I'm here at the top. And what you want to do is you want to sew onto the closure, but also through the track. So at first we weren't sewing through the track because that promotes shedding from you damaging the tracks or whatever. But now you have to sew through the track at the top part. Now you can go, I just prefer sewing through the track at the top because of security issues. I don't want your closure and your top track to be sliding apart, because we need that to be as tight as possible. Like, you want to make sure this is the tightest part. We need this to be super tight up here at the top, because you're eventually going to have to cut underneath the closure. So now that I'm all done, I'm just going through and selecting where my client said she wanted it parted, and I put some foam wrap lotion on it just to lay the closure down. That's how you lay any closure down. And then I'm taking the wig off the foam head. Make sure you pull all the T-pins out so you don't stab yourself. And now you see the division between the closure and the cap. It's just a little small space, but you have to be careful not to cut the actual thread, or your closure will start to come off of it. So we're just going to cut that unnecessary, unused cap away from under the rest of the closure. So now you have a custom wig, girl. Like, okay, I didn't show where I plucked and styled this, but if you would like to see a video with me plucking and styling a wig, please let me know. I do have an install video, go check it out. And these are the end results of the wig. I will include more pictures of different wigs that I did. You know, like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.